Guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for Blood King Manga Chapter 3. And now, at the end of the day, in a nutshell, all this about is them, the three main characters, Ton, Rengar, and Nanon. I was just going through names just to make sure that I remember them, leaving Hammer Island. Obviously, this is the first time for Ton and Rengar ever leaving Hammer Island, technically, because they was brought to Hammer Island to begin with, so they wasn't originally from there. But anyway, it's the first time they're leaving there, so the first time seeing the outside world, the first time for us seeing the outside world, starting to see the outside world, and thus them beginning their journey. And now, that's it in a nutshell. But when I look at it, I really feel like this was a test to see if not only if Ton and Rengar was ready for the outside world, but Nana too. And now it all goes back to what the Master Carpenter said before he left Ton and Rengar by themselves. And if I'm not mistaken, it was on the lines of, I will come back for you and take you guys with me once you have built a house that can defend against the house. What are they? A house? Are they the house eaters or house attackers? I can't remember which one. But if it can also stand up to the boss, then that would be a bonus. That's what I'm remembering off the top of my head. And now, for me personally, I feel like Rengar and Ton are just ready, if ready at all, for this adventure that they're just about to disembark in. Because we know Rengar can build solid houses that can defend against the house eaters, but couldn't stand up to the big boss. The big boss was able to make light work of it, and I feel like the structure of that strength was needed to pass the test, which was getting through the storm that surrounds Hammer Island. And now I feel like, because the Master Carpenter said, if it can beat the boss, then that's a bonus. So you would need a structure between, like, stronger than the House Eaters, but between that in between the boss and the stronger than the House Eaters to get through this storm. And now we don't know how strong Rengar's structures can stand up to a house, I should say, can stand up to the storm, because obviously they didn't take one of his houses out into the storm, but we know it can stand up to the House Eaters, but couldn't stand up to the boss, so we'd have to place him, like, someone there, because his structures were standing up to the minor house eaters fairly easily. So I reckon it is safe to say he's within that threshold that I'm talking about. And now, when it comes to Ton, we know he sucks at the building, but he makes up for it in strength. He's going to be a build king one day, because I know that's where they're going with him. There's even hinted at within this chapter as well, when they were talking about the courage that Carpenter built within, when Ton was talking about the Carpenter, when Ton was talking about the courage the Carpenter built within him, and then Rengar says, "Oh, that sounds like a build king," and I'm telling you, he's gonna be a build king one day. But anyway, what I'm talking about here is that the test of passing through the storm. And now I just explained how I feel that Rengar just passed the test, if he has passed it at all. And Ton, pretty much does the same within this chapter. We know what he can't build, he will make up his strength. And now in this chapter, he had to go out to save Rengar from the storm, and now he was using, and I think that's another reason why Master Shovel gave him the hammer as well. I feel like Master Shovel knew that he was going to suck at building, and he would be building up his strength and working that way, and that's why he gave him the hammer. But Ton, within this chapter, went out to save Rengar, tried to realize like he can't go back, and tried to go forward, and he was just about to give up, when he saw the house that Master Carpenter mentioned before. And upon seeing it, he remembered his master, and that gave him that little bit lost, little bit gave him a second wind basically, and he was able to then make it out of the storm. There, because of that, because of he almost gave up, because if he never saw the house could have been done, I call that a just as well. So he's just passing the test if he has passed at all. So I feel like these two are just ready, and now yeah, I feel like these two are just ready for the adventure they're about to take. And now I did mention at the very beginning of this review that I feel like that this was also a test for Nana. I said in the end of the first chapter, or in the beginning of the second chapter review, that how I did not think the master, Shovel Master would be the one to come and get them. He has obviously sent another apprentice in. We know that Nana is also another apprentice, and that was his test. Because I feel like the master's gonna take these three on some adventure, maybe, or maybe I don't know. But I feel like that this was his test as well, going into the storm. We don't know if it was with a ship that he built, but going into the storm and being able to bring them back out, that was his test. And now I would say that he passed without fail. He's ready, because even if his structure wasn't strong enough, what his structure lacks, he makes up for. And we see that going in, his structure broke, but he was able to, his structure got him far enough where he could swim the rest of the way. That's what we see. When coming out, he had a structure that was more than capable enough. House beasts are just fairly strong, and it seems to just pass through the storm, no problems, without no doubt. But during the leaving, he was outside dealing with the conditions, dealing with the debris that the storm was bringing, and he was able to do that fairly easily and made out the storm as well. So I feel like the master sent him in there as well, Nana in there as well, as a part of a test, and he passed with pretty much flying colors. I'm going to say. So yeah. Other than that, this chapter gives you some more insight to just how much the master means to both Tonga, Manga, and Nana by the end of the chapter. We did have that bit where Nana's like, "Oh, you went back for the scarf thing," but at the end of the day, I probably would have done that for this jacket still. So yeah, it does do that as well. The chapter does end off with us seeing who the next threat is going to be. And you see how could it be? And like you see two houses, and you think it's just houses, but this is a different world we are in. So we are out of Hammer Island. Some very nice panels, especially I really like the panel where you see them three, Rengar, Ton, and the Carpenter Master sitting on the rocks, and you can see the storm. I really like that panel, and the world looks like it's going to be interesting. The continent that we see, for the most part, looks nice so far, and just thinking about what the mangaka did with Toriko and the world, the way the world looked in that, we probably will be seeing a very interesting world as things go on. But that's everything I've got to say about this chapter. I do believe it deserves a 3-star rating, and call it a review. Like always, guys, Moscow, for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.